Welcome! In this explainer, we're diving deep into a really fundamental question, but we're going to tackle it using the super rigorous logic of Vedanta philosophy.
So let's just start with it, the big one. It's a question that has kept thinkers up at night for centuries. How can we be absolutely 100% certain that what we know is actually true? To get to the bottom of this, we're going to follow the intellectual path that Vedanta philosophers laid out. We'll start with defining truth. Then we'll see how they stress test that definition with some pretty clever puzzles. And from there, we face the biggest question of all. Finally, we'll look at the complete toolkit they developed for gaining knowledge.
Okay, so where do you even begin a search for truth? Well, in the Vedantic framework, it all kicks off with two really key concepts, pramana and pramana.
The ultimate goal here is to get pramana. That's the good stuff, the valid, certain knowledge we're all after. And the way we get it is by using a pramana, which is basically the tool or the instrument you use to gain that knowledge. So think of it this way. Pramana is the destination, and pramana is the map you use to get there.
But hang on, what exactly is prama? You know, Vedanta is super precise about this. They don't just accept any old fact. They have a very strict initial set of rules for what can be called valid knowledge. So for any piece of knowledge to be considered truly valid, to be Brahma, it has to pass two big tests. First, it has to be about something you didn't already know, something new. The term for that is anadigata. And second, it has to be uncontradicted, or abadita. That just means it can't be proven wrong later on. So bottom line, it has to be new and it has to be true.
Now, this is where it gets really fun. The philosophers didn't just write down this definition and call it a day. They came up with these clever thought experiments, kind of like intellectual puzzles, to really see if their definition could hold up under pressure. All right, puzzle number one, memory or smriti. Think about it. When you remember a fact correctly, is that valid knowledge? Well, according to the strict definition, no. It fails the newness test, the anadigata part, because it's pre-acquired knowledge. So this sparks a debate. Some say, yep, it fails, memory isn't prama. But others argue, hold on, the fact that it's uncontradicted, that abadita part, is way more important. Okay, next puzzle. This one's about continuous perception, or dharavahika buddhi. So imagine you're just staring at a pot. You see it in that first instant. But what about the second instant? And the third? Is your knowledge of the pot still new? If it's not, does that mean your valid knowledge just stops after a millisecond? And the solution they came up with is just brilliant. You slice up time. At moment one, you're not just seeing a pot, you're seeing the pot at moment one. And a split second later, at moment two, you're actually seeing a totally new object, the pot at moment two. Because the thing you're knowing is qualified by a new and unique moment in time. The knowledge itself is always technically new. It's a super clever way to satisfy that anadigata condition. Okay, so we've refined our definition to handle tricky things like memory and staring at stuff. But now we hit the biggest challenge of them all. And it's an idea that's absolutely central to the school of Advaita Vedanta. So far, so good. With our time-slice solution, saying this is a pot seems to be valid knowledge, right? In our everyday world, it feels new and it's definitely uncontradicted. It seems to tick all the boxes for prama. But here's the massive plot twist. A core teaching of Advaita Vedanta is Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. That means only the ultimate reality, Brahman, is truly real. The world we see and touch, it's ultimately an illusion. Well, if the pot isn't even ultimately real, how can our knowledge of it ever be uncontradicted? It feels like our whole definition of truth just fell apart. This looks like an impossible paradox, a total dead end. But Vedanta has this incredibly powerful and elegant way to resolve it, the idea that there are two totally distinct levels of truth. And this table just lays it out perfectly. On one level, you have transactional truth, vyavaharika. That's our everyday world, the one we live in. In this reality, saying this is a pot is 100% valid. But then there's a higher level, the ultimate truth, paramarthika. And from that vantage point, only Brahman is real. So our knowledge of the pot is valid, but only within that transactional bubble. It gets contradicted the moment you realize the higher truth. It's valid, right up until it's not.
And the texts themselves say this. Basically, our knowledge of stuff in the world is considered perfectly valid before that final realization of the self.
It's like we accept that our body is us in daily life, right? In the same way, knowledge of the world is treated as real and valid in our day-to-day existence.
So if we're operating in this transactional reality, how do we actually get valid knowledge? Well, Vedanta gives us a whole toolkit for just this purpose. These are those instruments we talked about at the beginning, the pramanas.
Advaita Vedanta accepts 6 ways to get valid knowledge. You've got perception, what you see and hear, inference, seeing smoke and inferring there's a fire. There's comparison, learning by analogy. Testimony, which is knowledge from a trusted source, like scripture. Postulation, which is something you have to assume is true to make sense of something else. And finally, non-perception, which is the cool and unique way you know that something isn't there.
Altogether, these 6 instruments make up this really powerful toolkit for navigating and making sense of our reality. And what's really fascinating is looking at the debates between the different philosophical schools. I mean, look at this table. The Karvakami materialists said, nope, only perception counts. Then other schools built on that, adding inference, then testimony, and so on. The fact that Advaita Vedanta accepts all 6 just shows how incredibly thorough its approach to knowledge really is. They left no stone unturned.
So, all of this leaves us with a final, really profound question to chew on. We figured out that our everyday reality is a valid, functioning system of truth. But if this is just the transactional level, what does that tell us about the nature of the ultimate truth that it's hiding?